Just like that. Like nothing ever happened. We're still in the same spot. Did I time travel? What? I just time travel. I just time traveled. Feeling a little sick. Oh my god, Oakley. Help. But yeah, guys, I'm back. My dog's eating my camera. Now he's hopping up on me. Come here. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the brackets back on and I'm gonna jack up the front of the car because I actually have a surprise that I will show later in the video. Actually, show it now. That's what time it is, boys. It's exhaust time. So this is actually just a header and a downpipe piece. I actually hope this is for my car because it may or may not be for a Corolla of the same year. This is just some, I don't know, like water hose. That's so when I breed, I'm gonna breed the brakes so we can make baby brakes. No, this is for when I bleed the brakes, and that's my header. It's a 4, 2, and then a 1 setup. Oh no, we're good, boys. So it's to replace this cracked header right there, there. It's starting all over. So now I hope this actually goes down far enough past this little like catalytic converter thing. I'm gonna line it up. Yeah, okay, so it does look like when I actually put it in, it's gonna sit really, really low. So that's good. So I guess that's gonna delete that little catalytic converter thing down here, which is awesome. And plus this looks pretty cool. I also took the intake pipe off and I wanna see if I can sand it down and get rid of that chrome finish. I can't talk, finish. And see if I can get like a nice like brushed aluminum finish, or if it doesn't look that great, I'll always paint it black. So the intake came out really good. It has that like brushed aluminum look that I really like. The only thing is that this like fell off this housing right here. Is actually still really loose. So I have to put like an adhesive on this to hold it down. But what happened is this like chrome thing popped off the actual cone of the filter. So I'm gonna put some adhesive on that, let that dry, you know, leave the coupler and stuff there. So I just cleaned up the battery tray. I'm gonna throw a quick coat of paint on the battery hold down, and I'm gonna take these brackets off the radiator and clean them up, paint them, put the new bolts in, put the new hardware. Same thing for this side. Then I'll start working on the header. I'm gonna sit and let that dry for a little bit, and then we'll, you know, put it back on. I know I'm gonna say I'm gonna do the header, but I keep finding things I wanna like paint and stuff. So just bear with me. I promise I'll do the header, I promise. Stuff that is completely unnecessary, and I was just doing it because I'm very OCD. I'm gonna start by taking off the downpipe slash mid pipe, upper pipe section that connects the header to the catalytic converter to the mid pipe. Did you get that? Pretty much gonna be taking that off, if you can see that right there. And then that pipe goes up to the header. So getting those two bolts out were really easy. because I guess the exhaust was changed, but they just welded straight to the catalytic converter, which is not how the exhaust system on this car is supposed to go. It's supposed to be a bolt-in catalytic converter, but they just welded it right on, and they didn't even put a washer on the other bolts, nor did they tighten the bolts that connect the downpipe section to the cat. So, I don't know. I'm happy I'm just going over it now. I don't think I'm going to take it out as one unit. I think I'm going to unbolt this like catalytic converter thing under here and then just have that mid-pipe section drop down, and I'll just take the header out that way. So, took the old crappy thing out, and this is a catalytic converter. It has like baffling, so it's like a dual catalytic converter. So yeah, that's out. All the old stuff is out. Problem. This actually lines up like perfectly. Like the header fits perfect, like everything lines up perfectly. It's just too short. And I think they did this on purpose because I think this car actually has the wrong catalytic converter on it because they welded it on. And it looks like they really tried to make it work. I'll get underneath the car and show you guys. I don't know if this is an original catalytic converter. Flange is pretty rotted. And they welded, I don't know if you can see it. They welded this side to it. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna cut this off with the Sawzall right about here. If I cut it off a little behind the pipe, I can get like a slip-on flange style pipe and a couple of U-bolts, and I'm essentially going to make my own test pipe because I'm going to make it long enough to where I need it to go. There's a rear O2 sensor, or I think this is an O2 sensor. So this is an O2 sensor. This goes into the header right down there. Notice how this actually looks like an O2 sensor. This right here does not look like an O2 sensor. I don't know what this is. I don't know if I can unplug it somehow because the new mid pipe right here doesn't have, see how like this one has like a little flange spot for that? That one doesn't have it. So I don't know what that's deleting. I'm gonna do a little research on what this sensor is. I think this is a sensor that senses if the catalytic converter is there or not. Maybe. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research before dark, and I'm gonna see if I can stop at the store real quick. I might not have time, I might have to clean up, but I'm gonna check it out and see what's up with that. Right now I'm just gonna throw a couple of bolts in the header and the mid-pipe section just so I can get everything held on there, and I'm actually gonna continue this tomorrow because I actually have other stuff to do. I actually have other stuff to actually do, But yeah, no, I'm gonna just bolt it up loosely, put the gaskets on and everything, and keep it there for now until I get all the right parts that I need to make my own homemade test pipe. So I just cleaned up all my tools for the night. This fits like crap, as to expect from eBay, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna do some custom stuff myself. It doesn't fit terrible. The mid-pipe section needs to be modified a little bit. That fits fine. It didn't come with the bolts for the O2 sensor. These bolts are different. So I'm gonna redo these 3 bottom studs, the original studs, and see if I can get the old ones out of there so I can just get new bolts for them and reuse them because I don't want to just use these crappy ones. So I'm gonna see what I can do. I just threw it together for now, just to hold it up there. You know, it's not terrible. It's on there, but as you can see, that mid-pipe section, if you can see it, it just doesn't line up correctly. I'm gonna have to do something about that. I also have to do research on what this is. It doesn't look like an O2 sensor, because the front O2 sensor looks way different than this one. So it has a part number on it. I'm gonna look it up really quick. But worst case scenario, the test pipe I make, I'm going to have to cut this flange off right here and I'm gonna put this in the test pipe. I'm gonna extend this wire and so I can plug it back in. I'm gonna have to weld this to the test pipe. Probably gonna have to bring it to someone. I'm not too concerned about it. It actually looks really good, I'm not gonna lie. I just need to do, obviously, you know, it's eBay. They're not gonna do everything super great. It was really affordable. And but it still is a pretty decent part. Like it lined up right. I just got to do some modifying to make it look good and perform good myself. I am not going to half-ass anything on my cars. I'm gonna make everything work, you know, even if I have to get new studs for the head. But yeah, you know, I cleaned everything up. I made myself a shopping list, as you can see here. Just a bunch of stuff that I need to do. I taped it to my toolbox, so when I get out of school tomorrow, I'm gonna go to the store and go ahead and do that. So yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish this tomorrow. I'm not too sure. I'm like filthy. Look at my back. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow when I'm fresh and right after school. What's going on, guys? I'm back. Sorry for the... I start working right when the sun goes down, but I literally have no other option because I don't have any time. So I put the header on, not today, a couple days ago. It came out fine. I replaced all the studs, I cleaned them up, and I reinstalled them back on, so everything's good. I'm still having trouble finding bolts for this right here. I need a thread pitch counter in order to find what type of bolts. I really don't know what these are, to be honest, so I still have to find those. I have it just one bolt in holding it down, and I'm gonna just bolt that up right now and see where this wants to like sit in this area, and then I'll see what I'm gonna do about that pipe down there. So a couple short days later, and I made this little pipe thing, and yeah, it's cool. Look, the welds are terrible. Look, I don't know how to weld, so I tried my hardest. I'm not keeping this forever. That's just temporary. I'm gonna have a whole custom exhaust made for this car. If I had a lift and I knew how to weld, if I had a welder, I'd practice all day, every day. But I just had to get that done. I'm gonna throw it in and thread in the O2 sensor, rewire it, and see what it sounds like. The battery back in, I'm gonna give it a first start up. Since it's been sitting for a while and it's sitting up on an angle, I'm gonna unplug the injectors really quick and just crank the engine over without it starting, just so I can get some oil lubrication through it. Alright, here we go. Whoa. That's a lot water. Oh, yeah. A lot more emissions are coming out of it, too. So it's got a baby leak right at the bottom. I'm going to see if I can seal that up really quick. Oh, so I was completely wrong. The leak isn't actually even where I did anything. The leak is at the catalytic converter. So I really don't want to show you what this exhaust looks like and how I put it together, because I'm really not proud of the work. I'm just trying to get it to work. When I can afford to get a whole custom exhaust made, or if I can make a custom exhaust for this car, I will. But right now I'm just trying to get it to sound halfway decent. So this is a little note or forewarning for my future self when I look back on these videos. That's a whole reason why I make these videos, is for me to remember in the future, like where I come from and stuff like that. So I wasn't able to seal the exhaust, and I'm kind of bummed out about it because I spent a lot of money that I don't really have on something that I wanted to work that doesn't really work. It's really hard to do stuff on your own when you lack the skills and when you lack the funds necessary to do it. If I had the funds to practice welding and do stuff like that, I would, but I don't. I can't get that exhaust to seal, and I really tried. I spent like $40 in different types of sealers to get it to seal, but it's not working, and I don't want to keep spending more money to make it work. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not satisfied with how the car is right now, and I know it's a project, but I just have too high of expectations, and I can't really afford to go through with all of them. Because of that, it's like I defeat myself, because I'm not being realistic with what I can do at the moment. Trying to do things that would be easy if I had all the money to spend and I had a garage or like all the tools. I really lack the skills and the tools, the place and the money, and pretty much everything's against me right now working on this car. It's a simple car. I know I'm making a big fuss about a leaking exhaust, but I just have certain expectations, and it's almost like my expectations set myself up for failure. And it's hard because I want to keep making more content for YouTube, but I don't have enough money to keep doing interesting stuff that people want to see. I have to, instead of just focusing on the problem, I have to focus on the solution. I have to figure out how to make videos without spending a ton of money. Videos that I can keep making and stuff like that. I wanted to get a full stainless steel exhaust built for the car. I don't know how much that usually costs, but I'm going to save up around $2,000 and see if it's more than that. I hope not. It's not that I have certain high expectations, like I want it to be a fully built race car. I just want to get it to a point where I'm satisfied with, and I can drive it without feeling like uncomfortable in a way. Like just looking at a torn seat makes me uncomfortable, and seeing all the ugly paint makes me uncomfortable, and knowing that there's a leaking exhaust also makes me uncomfortable. Everything else in the car I'm completely 100% fine with. All I want to do is I want to get the car registered. I want to get an exhaust done on the car. Not even to make it sound good. Making it sound good is a bonus. I want it to not leak, and I want it to be functional. So yeah, I want to get the car painted, an exhaust, and I want to get it registered and insured. Those are my goals for right now. And I'm going to do everything in my power to achieve those goals. I know I don't have a lot of subscribers or anything like that. I'm mostly making this talking thing for myself, for my future self. And it's weird to talk to a camera when there's no one around, but I'm thinking it as I'm talking to myself almost in the future. I'm talking to another person, or someone that's actually interested or intrigued to hear what I have to say. Go ahead and listen and take everything with a grain of salt. You don't have to listen to everything I say. I'm gonna get the car back together and bring it to the end of my driveway and give it a quick wash, and I'm gonna let it sit in my driveway for now until I'm able to save up enough money to continue working on it. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But on a different note, I'd like to thank everyone for watching this video. Not much has gotten done besides me like failing at everything, but you have to learn, and it's trial and error, and it is what it is, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. So thank you everyone for watching, and I appreciate it. Thank you.